Hello and welcome to Dawn Apart. Dawn Apart is a space colony factory simulation with fully destructible environments. Mine, automate, and defend your settlers or lead a rebellion against the very corporation pulling your strings. I would like to start this video by saying two things. First, I was given a key for this game from Industrial Technology and Witchcraft, and for that I am very thankful, so thank you to them for that. And second, I have very limited knowledge in this game. I've played a ton of colony simulators and factory management games. I have not played this one in specific. And the key feature here is that we are the director of a landing party that's been sent to Sirius B3 for the purpose of mining Lucrum 115. I have, like I said, played a few minutes of this, not a whole lot, maybe a half an hour, and I know very little, but I've basically done the tutorial. We will go through it because it's part of the opening stages of the game, but I figured I would just mention that. So we are going to do the tutorial, and everything's basically the standard. I don't know if this means that enemies are off. It kind of looks like it. But we will see what happens as we go along. We're going to have a crew size of 4, and all the modifiers are at the standard 100%. So here we are landing on Sirius B3. As you can see, this is our starting spaceship. We're going to go ahead and basically rip this apart right away. The first thing we have to do, though, is we have to check the messages panel here, the events panel, which it also indicates here will end up giving us some helpful hints, which again is basically the tutorial element. You can see by hitting spacebar, we're going to be able to pause, so that's good. There's a couple things with this game. The first thing is that we're going to end up getting contracts as we go along for doing things like delivering our quota of lucrum and other things. And I found that you can go through them fairly quickly. Like the contracts will come in and have about 5 or so days to complete the contracts, which is great. You know, we can do that, and most of them are completable in about a day or less. But the thing is, once we do that, it immediately unlocks the next contract. And now I haven't had any real issue associated with keeping up with that. It does seem, though, that every step of the way we end up a little bit further behind. So even though we'll probably be able to complete the contracts quicker than we actually do, that's the reason I'm doing that. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of keep it at an even keel. Because that is going to make it a lot easier to work with, so that we don't feel rushed through this playthrough. I've queued up a bunch of basically just cutting down everything that's around us. The trees and such are going to be in the way once we get moving. Like they just take up a lot of space. So we're going to go ahead and get that ripped apart. We're also going to rip apart our spaceship. So you can use it if you wish as sort of a starting base, but I found that just by pulling it apart, you can rebuild all the things, and there's going to be storage available inside of it. That's what these yellow things are. There are stockpiles. So I'm going to go ahead and just rip the whole thing apart because I've found that more useful, and then we can reuse the steel that's involved in it to build basically whatever we want instead of something like this. And I'm probably going to construct, based on my testing, a nice little 2x5 as sort of a starting living quarters and move out from there. Again, I'm not super worried about getting everything done really quickly, because that doesn't seem to help you with anything. It's kind of the rule of what you would say, measure twice, cut once, right? Like it's better suited that you sort of think it out and then take the action, instead of just acting and hoping that everything works out. Again, at least that's the way it seemed so far. We will start to look into these tasks over here fairly soon. But we are going to focus on some other things as well. So we are about 2 meters up. It looks like we can go down to 1 meter. The rest of it's sort of, that's what it's showing us. This is flat, is what this is. And we can raise this area up. And I kind of like the way this dips down. By doing this and leveling this area, our little colonists are going to go ahead and pull this ground up. And put I guess it's like a concrete platform or something like that there, and that's what they will work with. Now you'll notice that if we go into our, I believe it's level is what I was just in. If we go into where is it here? Priorities. Each of our people have their own set priority, with firefighting being the highest, and then everything else is basically based on what they're good at. I don't know if this changes. I'm pretty sure the names change and the way that the individuals look change. Because if we click on them, we can actually see their portrait over here. And we can bring up, I believe it's this one, and see what they're actually good at. Like this lady here, Kazumi, is good at construction as her main thing. Second being wood cutting, and then I guess cooking. They also have needs, which are rest, restroom, hygiene, and hunger. They have health and loyalty as well. And you can actually go into the events and see basically everything they've done. So smart object interaction terraformation started because they're working on flattening this terrain here. So you can go in there and do that if you wish. I'd also like to say, as this is sort of a voxel-based colony management game, it's really pretty. Like each of these guys, and they match what they have. Like she has a little, mohawk. It's green. This one has like this, I don't know, pixie cut type thing that's purple. I guess it's not a pixie cut. It's like a top thing. This lady over here has like a ponytail going on. So they actually match what their character says, and they'll give you a little thing here. I'm feeling great. And if we click later, they'll say like, I feel dirty, or whatever their need happens to be at the time. They'll go ahead and say that. So we're going to go ahead and look at the floors, because we have steel roofs and steel floors from ripping apart our base there. So I kind of like these plain looking steel floors, and we're going to go ahead and build, like I said, a little place for our guys to live once that save goes away. And I think I'm actually going to do it over here. I think we can probably start with a little 3. So that's what? That's 8. Yeah. So a nice 2. Sorry, a 2 by 4, and we'll go ahead and build up some walls and such for that as well. And we don't have a door or anything, which is fine. We'll go ahead and put that there. Oh, I didn't mean to put that there. 1 second here. I don't want them to build that. So we're going to need to clear the steel wall. Did I do that wrong? Maybe we got to click uninstall on it. Yeah, there we go. So we got to click uninstall. So the floors are going in nicely. We're going to get some of these up. It's going to be sort of an open face to begin with, because we don't have enough walls at this stage. So that should be good. That'll put up 8 walls. If we want them, I suppose we could put 2 more in the front, because we have 10 of them total. And this will give our little people a place to call home, which we're going to get a mission for in a second here. Right now it's asking us to build a... well, first it's asking us to open this up in the events tab, which is fine. And then it's asking us to place a mechanical workbench. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're just going to place it right here. This will be a good place for them to go. And they're going to continue to just knock out these trees as we go along, and soon we're going to start mining this coal over here, which is actually in a really good space. I like that, as well as this copper over here, because that's going to be our next thing, is to craft a furnace. And when we go in here and we look at furnace, it's going to tell us, oh, sorry, no, it's going to tell us to place a furnace. My apologies. We're not crafting anything yet, which is in the, it's not in storage. Oh no, so we do have to craft the furnace, my apologies. So we will craft the furnace from over here. We're also going to look at building a carpenter's bench. So we'll queue that up next. So they'll go ahead. There's already 20 granite blocks in storage. That's what we need to build a furnace. Granite was somewhere, was it up here? Yeah, granite's over here. So we'll start mining that eventually. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and do that, and they're going to work on the carpenter's bench, because we're going to need that as well. And for now, we're just going to place the furnace, I think, like that. Yeah, that should be good. I have noticed where all the stuff is kind of close together, it can start to feel a little claustrophobic a little quickly. So I think the key is going to actually be to build up. And with that in mind, oh, I see. We've run out of floors because, okay, we've run out of roof tiles. The floors are also roofs for steel. That's interesting. Next, we're going to look at getting ourselves some copper. Actually, no, I built this area because I want to get the base needs set up for our colonists here. So I think on this side, we're going to put the sink in the corner, and we are going to put the toilet next to it. I think this is, yes, this is facing the right way, and we'll just slam them right together. That's perfectly fine. There's no issue with that. And we're going to put the Mr. Soylent, which is the food dispenser, in this corner. And pretty soon we're going to need to build beds, which is why I've built the carpenter's table, and that's going to probably go right over there. So the carpenter's table, we are going to put, actually I'll put it along here, that's perfectly fine. We are going to need to start mining copper, which we can do either by right-clicking or by clicking mine and actually put a node down. I actually don't like where that is. So I'm going to go right here, and then the coal was over here. We're not going to be doing this for very long. This sort of manual way of dealing with it is going to only be to get us started, to get our first resources, and then we are going to jump into, we'll shortly thereafter jump into having drills, because that's the next thing we're going to do. This is a lucrum miner, but this actual regular mining drill just requires 40 copper to be put down. So we're going to sort of rush to getting that put down for copper, and we're going to rush for it to get put down for coal, because that's going to really launch us into what we need to produce more things. Now, it looks like everybody's, you know, using the toilet over here and washing their hands, which is good, probably a good idea. Eating, they're taking care of their basic needs, which, like I said, is why I wanted to get that to begin with. I really like the way this looks over here, this very alien-looking area. I don't think I can change the pitch, no. So, unless I zoom in and zoom out. But yeah, there's different biomes, as you can see, and they're all pretty cool. Sort of looking. There's little water streams here. They're not very big, these ones in particular. I don't know what we're going to encounter as we go forward either. I will just put that out there, because I've only played for a little bit so far. I'm also going to have them create, probably I'm going to say some stairs, as well as, I'm going to go ahead and guess, 4 beds should be good. And then we should be able to get some floors over here. That should be good. So we'll get 8 of those queued up as well, so that we can complete our little area here. Again, I'm perfectly fine right now with it being open. I've not actually encountered any kind of baddies so far. It's not something I've had an issue with. And we're going to level this area over here. And I would like to... I was going to say I'd like to prioritize this, but I guess that's not something that we're going to do right away. We're just going to throw down the... Oh, we already have the beds done. I'm going to throw down the beds over here, along this wall. We could probably get away with doing 2 and 2. Something like this. That looks fine, and they should be able to access those as well. And we can go up and down with this. So I believe this is going to be 4 high. We're going to go ahead and put the wood floors, and we are going to go up and up again, which we can do by hitting tab and down with control. And we're going to put a roof on this. It's going to say not in stockpile because right now it's not in stockpile. I also don't know if this were, like, I don't know if this is going to count as a roof or not, because I've placed floors. I've not placed a roof per se. Like, there are tiles, like this is called a brick roof, right? So I don't know whether it's going to realize it's a roof or not. It doesn't look like it is, so we're going to go with level. So that it gets rid of that. And like I said, I've felt a little claustrophobic starting out. Can I get rid of this? If I hit off now? No. Okay, that's fine. Well, I guess we don't really need to see in there anyway. We know what's in there, but we can level it if we need to. So this is missing ingredients, which looks like it's copper. I'd really like to get them to mine the... so somebody has finally come over to mine the coal. So that's good. Which is going to get us to our next thing, which is to craft a small mining drill and then start using that. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Again, I'm actually going to queue up 2 of those because I would really like to rush to getting it on both the copper deposit and on the coal. As far as I can tell, there's no like power, no like electricity or anything like that that we have to worry about. So that should be perfectly fine for dealing with. I also feel like I want to have an area that's going to start to be our production facility. And even though it's probably a monumental task, pun not intended, I kind of want to get rid of this here. And I don't know what the issue is and why this is red. I guess we're going to find out. I guess it's probably just because it's so much higher. And we'll start with something like that. That should be good there. And just so we can get up, we will also build some stairs, or place some stairs here, because that's what we have. This, it spans 1 floor, so we don't want those. We want these, right? Yeah. And we will rotate this around like this, and that gets us up to there, in case we actually want to go to the upper floor here. So this is another thing that's different from a lot of factory games I'm finding, is that in this game, we're doing a lot of like multi-level stuff, which is, again, really, really interesting, in my opinion. Next thing, we're going to place down our first drill, which I think we're going to place over here. So you can see this little orange box. This is where we're actually going to be mining from. So we won't be able to take up like a whole node at once. We're going to be in a specific area, and you'll see once they build this, what that means. And that'll get us our next sort of mission over here. I also want to change you to coal. I can't remember, where's our coal? Coal is here. We're gonna haul to here, and I believe that should get them to take the wood out, and then they should start using coal instead. It looks like they're still using wood. I don't want them to use wood. I want them to turn that on. And what's this talks for us? Providing resources. No, we definitely do want that, but we want coal in here. I guess for now we're just going to have to deal with using wood. Once we get it automated, it will, I think we'll be able to fill that in. And that should make life a lot easier. Over here you'll see the mining has started. It kind of does this like strip mining. I've heard some people refer to it as like 3D printing, and that's the way that it takes the ore that you're looking at or what have you out of the ground, and it just kind of like poops it out in the back. Over here you'll see it, there it goes. And once we get into conveyor belts, we can convey it from here, which again, really good thing. So they are clearing through this pretty quickly, which is good. And we'll clear out these so that they go away. Oh, I need to change somebody's priority to maximum on, what was it, cut? So I guess you're probably the next best. So we will go ahead and do that just to complete the event and then put it back to what it was. Cutting is not a huge deal. Because again, we're pretty much done all the cutting we intended to do at this point. Now we're going to get into the lucrum, which is this stuff over here. It has a special miner, and it uses solvents to get the lucrum out of the ground, basically. We should be able to build it here, no problem, even though there is this water here. It should be perfectly fine. And we can see this is now shooting out the copper ingots as we are burning over here. I wish I could choose. I'm all but certain I can change this, but I don't know how is the problem. So there we go, we're starting to mine our lucrum. It takes these solvents. I don't know why, I've seen a number of people do this, and they all call it soylent, which is our food, which it's not taking, and it's taking solvents to kind of do the same thing. I guess melt it out because it's hard, and you can see it's using the same animation of this strip mining to remove out here. So we have a couple things. We've completed that. We've completed sleep. It was one that I've already done, in which they're going to ask to build 2 beds, and that's completed. And then automation is key, is what it's telling us about, and how automation is going to work. Next, we're going to need to install a spaceport. Now, the spaceport is a big thing, and we're going to end up having probably multiple from what I've looked at going forward, and it needs to be able to be expanded is another thing. So I think we might end up doing it over here. I would like to be able to eventually get a nice little 8x8, because I believe that's the biggest I've seen so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that will end up cutting into, I believe it's quartz over there a little bit. And that's something we'll have to think about, but we'll start with a nice little, is this 5x5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start by a nice little 5x5, and we can actually just sort of start in this area here, because I believe the first spaceport only actually needs a 3 by 3. Yes. So we can probably do something like that. I don't know what obstacle exactly is blocking this. Perhaps it's where I've told them to flatten the terrain. I'm really not certain. I think actually I'm going to turn this around and do it on this side. No, because then I won't be able to expand out the other way. It needs to be flat. The spaceport does. So we'll go ahead and, like I said, level this area here, and we'll end up building it out this way. I might therefore need to level this out as well. We'll get that sorted out pretty quickly. We should have the second miner done, and we do. And we'll do the same thing we did on the other area. In that we'll go... Yeah, I'm really not a fan of the way that this... I think we're just going to have to give up that little bit of coal. Clear out the orders of mining there, and we're just going to start from here, at least for the beginning. I don't know how much we have of the... So we do have a good amount of copper ingots. That's good. We can probably go ahead and queue up 2 more miners, because that'll just increase our production even more, and I will place the next one probably over here right next to it. It won't be as efficient, but we'll place it next to it, and we'll strip mine this, and we'll do the same for the coal, because again, the quicker we can get this stuff out, the quicker we can use it, and that'll just allow us to advance much quicker by doing so. Now these guys are just hauling. I don't know how much lucrum we have at this point. Oh, we already have about 200. So once we build the spaceport, we're going to start to get our first sort of contracts, if you will. And that is definitely... we probably will complete the first couple quickly, just due to the fact that that'll get us some more people. And the more people that we have, the more things we're just going to be able to do. It's going to unlock conveyors for us, and then we're going to get started into doing things with that. Like I said, I'm going to sort of set up the production lines over here. We should be able to run a conveyor through there. Don't know how big. So these feeders will grab and push into something like that. I haven't done much messing around with the conveyors yet either, so we're going to learn that as we go, but it does have feeders and things. You can direct feed most things, like put a conveyor into something and have it load automatically, or you can put feeders. So I don't know whether we're going to have something in the middle, like lanes of conveyors running down the middle, as an example. You know, if we're going to have one here and then have sort of the furnaces on one side, or whether or not we're going to have them in the middle and conveyors going up and down either side. Because again, we're going to need it to shoot out onto a conveyor as well if we want to make it a lot easier. But we'll see what happens once we start placing things and go from there. I think I'm actually going to, for now, just clear these, because I really want to get this first spaceport down. Which should be able to go there nicely. And then I'll get them to do all the other stuff that I asked them to before.
Alright, and I think we are going to call it here for the first episode. We've started our base, we've got our first miners down, and we're getting ready for the spaceport. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, You can give me a like and leave a comment. It really helps with the algorithm gods. And there should be another episode coming out fairly soon, as I've recorded about an hour's worth of content back to back. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.